Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you my process for creating a custom harmonic series and then bringing that series into a sampler as a usable musical scale. What is the harmonic series? It's the pattern of frequencies that sounds whenever you play a note. There are many videos on YouTube which have more thorough explanations, and I advise you to seek them out. These are the programs I use to do this, and I'll take you through step by step now the process. This is a table of frequency values for fundamentals through to the 10th overtone, and it auto-generates off of a few parameters that I set at the beginning. And this will be the section of frequencies that we use to build our musical scale. Pianotech 6 has a couple of features which enable this method. Firstly, we can assign custom frequencies to specific keys via the keyboard mapping feature. I can copy to clipboard. This is the information that I just copied. I can now edit these values, copy this, and paste it over the new clipboard. The second feature which enables this method is the ability to edit the volume of individual overtones. Each of these columns represents the gain of an overtone. And as you can see, Pianotech models quite a great number of them. The way that I use these two features together is to solo an overtone at a time and bounce them into these tracks. The way I do that is with a macro, and if you look behind my head here, you'll see I use remouse micro. You're seeing a time lapse of the macro bouncing all the fundamentals and overtones so they can be reorganized and stitched together later. I've already soloed the fundamental harmonic for the MIDI event it's bouncing, which happens to be the reference note the macro is pulling from XL. Once a batch is bounced, we group them, then mute the fundamental and solo the harmonic. About 8 to 10 overtones is plenty. Once I have all the overtones I intend to use, I group them by their notes and then adjust the levels until it sounds like a usable tone. What you're seeing now is the process of regrouping each track, this time note by note, so that each group contains a fundamental and its corresponding overtone series. When grouped, changes to one track in the group also apply to the others, which makes this stage of editing a lot easier. Once regrouped, I have no need of the original groups anymore, so they get dissolved. I then adjust the levels. In this case, I made the fundamental most prominent and tapered off the overtones along the series, which is fairly standard. However, I think that changing the emphasis and placing it on other overtones is definitely an interesting variable. Finally, I solo the notes one by one and bounce them into separate audio files to be put into the sampler. After I've bounced my scale into separate audio files, I then drag them onto this sampler. I've only dragged them onto the white keys in order to avoid the bias that this pattern gives me in playing. I can create an additional scale by bringing all of the audio files in as separate tracks and transposing them by 12 degrees either up or down, depending on where I want my second scale to sit. I then bounce those individual tracks and drag them onto the keyboard as well, giving me an additional octave of usable keys. That leaves me with a sampler with 2 octaves now of a musical scale created from a custom harmonic series, and that's how this sounds. additional tracks and use effects to change the timbre of the sound and create music, which I've done here, and that's what this will sound like. So there you have it. From spreadsheet to finished track, a custom harmonic series brought to life. I'm interested to hear your feedback. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to take any information on board, because there's honestly not much out there about this particular topic. Please also like the video and subscribe so that you can see future iterations, future custom harmonic series that I create. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, please find the links below. Thank you. Bye.